All right, you guys. So, who's feeling good about a new month? Who's feeling good? Like, who is really excited to either have a do-over or start fresh or try again?
Me.
Yay! I know.
Yeah, very
I'm just
excited.
Yes. So there's something amazing about a new month, and whether you hit your goals last month or it was a complete flop, it's so exciting to write out what it is that you need to accomplish this month, set out your plan, and then you guys, let's just go for it. There's 2 months left in this year. And let me tell you something. We are all trying to get the ball rolling because January is coming, you guys. And what does January mean? January means that people need you. Okay. So it's not a time to just sit back and just watch everybody else work. This is a time for you guys to hustle, figure out what it is that you need to have done so that when January comes around, you have systems in place, you have your ideas already, you have a plan for all of your ideas, you have a plan for what January is going to look like for you, and then you just start implementing that. But one of my favorite books, it's by Gary Vee. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram. He actually spoke at Summit 2 years ago. He's an amazing social media guru. Awful language, but definitely you want to learn from him. So if you go to his Instagram, he has really, really amazing stuff. But he wrote this book. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And if you haven't read it, it's like a must read for social media. And it's talking about the things that you do before you ask for a sale. Okay. So you got to have the jabs. You can't just become a Beachbody coach and say, everybody buy something from me. There's strategic things that you have to put in place in order for you to earn the right to be heard. Okay. And that's kind of what that book talks about. And so, just put that on your list of, I'm sure you're many that you need to read, but if you feel like you have a problem with maybe, closing the sale, or you're not quite sure how to get people on board, it's a really good book. And he's just incredible, and you're just going to love him. So anyway, so tonight, really quick, every single month, there's new stuff that's going on in Beachbody world. And so I want to go over that stuff with you really fast. Just jot some notes down so that you kind of like are aware of what's going on. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something that really worked for me this past month. And then I'm going to have Becca she wants to kind of talk about Power Hour really quick and things that you can do to move your business every single day. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to talk to you really quick about what's going on in November, and you guys can just kind of just jot down notes or whatever. Okay. So big deal right here. Okay. I didn't know this, but last month, most of the challenge packs and the completion packs were $20 off. Okay. I didn't know that until like a week ago. So I don't know if you knew that, but all challenge packs that are over $150, so over $150, so most of them are $160, they're $140, okay? And that's going through, that will be going through the month of November. So let's see. Yeah, so just for the month of November is what it says. So instead of it being $160, it's $140. That's a big deal. Okay, everybody wants to save money. So it's if somebody's on the fence, be like, you can go back to the people that had said no and say, you're not going to believe this. This must be for you. Just found out $20 off right now. Okay, so that's the first thing. Number two, so the Shift Shop exclusive coach test group is you can be a part of that if you sign up for early access for Shift Shop. Has anybody done Shift Shop already? Anybody done all the way through? Okay. So,
It was fun.
okay, good. So some of you guys have. Good. Okay. So one of my favorite programs of all times, but you can be in the test group well, it's called a test group. It's the coach test group is what it is. And so basically you're in a group with Chris Downing. And all you have to do is you have to sell either a Shift Shop challenge pack or a completion pack, which just comes with all of the stuff that you need for Shift Shop. And you have to do that you have up until November 7th. And then you can be a part of the basically the coach test group. So that's how that.
Can I just chime in on Chris Downing?
Yeah.
For those of you, my coaches that weren't at Summit, and Joy wasn't at Summit, Chris Downing is like, you all know that I don't like Joel anymore. I used to think he was hot, but now I don't like him anymore because but Chris Downing is literally the opposite human of him. He's like so inspiring, and like you feel his love to your core. You're just like, he's speaking to me. Like he knows what's happening in my life and he cares about me. And like, he's incredible. So if you also like hated Joel being a douchebag, then you probably will love Chris Downing if you haven't done his programs yet. I've done part of Shift Shop, but I never finished it. So props to Caitlin for finishing. That's all.
Yeah, so that is very true. You would think that that Chris Downing is like this hard guy and, just like super, he's like a teddy bear. He gets emotional. He cries. He has a really crazy testimony if you haven't heard it, or his story on how Beachbody found him. He was actually about to go to jail, and he had wrong place, wrong timing type of thing, some stuff that he had done in his past. And Carl Deichler actually found him on YouTube and then contacted him. And I mean, within a day, his life was changed, like drastically changed. So he has a really cool story. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere where he talked about it. But yeah, so that, if you haven't done that program, put it on your list, because that one is amazing. Super easy, and your market will probably love it. Okay. So Transform 20 comes out on December 4th. Okay. So make sure that you remember that. It's 20 minutes. You use a step. Shanti is the trainer. It's really intense. So you're going to sweat because it's only 20 minutes. And then they have a thing called Step It Up in November reward. And so what that basically means is if you want to reserve a limited edition Transform 20 step, then you can participate. So this is how you basically earn it. So in order to qualify, you must earn at least one Success Club point in November by helping one person get started with a challenge pack. And then to redeem their step, coaches must purchase any Transform 20 product after that. It includes a step between December 4th and December 11th. Okay, so if you guys want to read the FAQ on that, it's 8220. So if you type in 8220, it'll give you all the details. That's in December. Okay. So not yet, but coming up. Also in December, they are launching the Performance Energized Stick Pack. Okay. So instead of having like the big thick ones, it's just going to be like a little small stick, and you open it up and it's basically, it'll be available. Same exact thing. It's still energized, still clinically tested, prove out the pre-workout supplement that you guys already take. It will just be in sticks now. And you can actually start getting those December 4th. So after that. Okay. And then last couple things really quick. You are now eligible to earn Summit Travel Cash if you are a diamond or below, and you already have bought your Summit ticket. Okay, so this was only up until October 31st. If you got your ticket at $145 and you're a diamond coach and below, and you've already purchased your Summit ticket, then what the requirement is for you to earn the up to $200 in travel cash, you have to achieve Success Club in October, November, and December. And you have to have a ticket for Summit, and you have to attend Summit. So you have to be registered to attend Summit. And then that way, they are going to pay you $200 in travel cash. So basically what that will probably come to is it'll probably come into your check. So your regular check that you have, that's where they'll probably put that money. Okay. So that is a huge, huge incentive. to have your hotel room practically paid for. Because if you're rooming with a bunch of people, it's probably going to only be like $200 for the whole week or whatever it is, you divided by however many people are in that room. So that could possibly be your hotel money or your plane ticket money or whatever. So you guys work really, really hard to get that money because they've never done that before. They've never done this before. And I can't earn it, but I want all of you to earn it. Okay. I want all of you guys to get it. So please make that a priority because first of all, I want everybody at Summit. And second of all, I want you to practically go to Summit for free. Okay. Okay. That's all the announcements I have. Any questions on any of that before I tell you guys kind of what I felt like I wanted to pass on?
Do you know? Sorry, Caitlin, go ahead.
With the chat, is there like a discount code or is it already discounted on the website? Do you know?
Good question. Already discounted.
Okay.
So you send them share cart, they're going to get the discounted price.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know how much the Transform 20 challenge packs are going to be with the step included?
I think I do.
Okay. If you don't, it's okay.
It's right here. I'm just clicking on. Okay. Let's see. All right. It's not in that FAQ. Frequently asked questions. Which Transform 20 branded offers include the step? Okay, so basically every challenge pack includes the step. And then it does not have prices yet. So
Okay.
we'll just keep looking, but it does not have prices. I'm thinking the regular price is gonna be $180, but it will be on sale for $160.
That would be cool.
That's gonna be because it's only 20 minutes and it's a short workout. I think it's gonna regularly be $180. That's usually what all new programs are.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Also, I have a question that Ashley was asking me yesterday. If someone signs up for the first time with just Shakeology on Home Direct, is that one Success Club point?
No, it's 2.
That's 2?
Yeah.
Yes, Ashley.
Yeah.
Snaps to you. Hit Success
What was
Club.
the question?
Sorry.
Is someone just ordered Shakeology?
Yeah. So
You had a customer just order Shakeology, Ashley?
So you get 2 Success Club points for that and not if someone just gets Beachbody On Demand?
That's correct. I think it's because
That's
it's like a monthly. They're expecting you to pay $130 every month, as opposed to like the one-time 100. But I know everyone was pushing back on it.
Sorry.
no, so that is a new thing. It used to only be 1 point up until probably about a year ago. They switched it to 2 points, but here's the kicker. It's only if it's ordered on Home Direct. If it's not ordered on Home Direct and they paid $10 for shipping or whatever it is, then you only get 1 point. Okay. So what I personally do is I don't offer them the option. Don't give them the option. Just tell them this is what you're doing and say, I'm going to help you cancel this. I will show you exactly how to cancel this, but I want to save you $10 in shipping or whatever. It's a crazy amount of shipping because it's based on weight. So however much it weighs, it's going to be expensive. So I just say you're saving $10 to $12 in shipping if you do it this way. So this is what you're going to do. Okay. Because when I've given them the option in the past, more times than not, they've chosen to pay the $10, which makes no sense to me, as opposed to $4. And in the month of November, I think we all get $2 shipping as opposed to $4, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't I get an email about that, Sarah? Are you shaking your head? So $2 for shipping this month as opposed to $4 for shipping. So they're saving $10 to $12. So that's just what I do. You guys, if that works for you, awesome. Okay, moving on to, so I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. This is me showing you that I'm not always an amazing leader. So up until 4 days ago, I had Success Club 0. Okay, so let me tell you why. Because I thought that this month was going to be easy for me because I had done some work last month. And I honestly, when this month came along, I had a lot of people that had committed to ordering, and every one of them backed out. Anybody had that before? Anybody say they're going to order and they don't? Okay. Well, if it's never happened to you yet, it's going to. Okay. And it's a real bummer. And it's a game, and it stinks because you're counting on that person and it just doesn't come through. And that was the story of my life this month. Okay. So I knew in order for me to show you guys that it can work, I had to work really, really hard these past 3 days. And so I'm going to tell you guys what I did. And I was able to earn, I earned 6 Success Club points in 3 days. And I had one more order that hopefully she ordered after midnight, but I'm going to see if they'll still push it to last month. So it can be 8. If not, I'll have 2 for this month, which is fine because 6 was my goal. And, but I still, I wanted to tell you guys what I did, and you guys can, it worked. It really worked. So I want to tell you guys what I did. And then, if you guys want to try this earlier on in the month, I would suggest that, not 3 days before the month's over. Okay. Don't do what I did. All right. So this is what I did. I took one frequently asked question that I get all the time, and I focused on that each day. Okay. So instead of taking a lot of questions that I get, I took one question and I focused on that. And that was the basis around my Instagram stories that day. Okay. So I'm talking about Instagram stories here because that's all I focused on was Instagram. Okay. So one of my frequently asked questions was, I could never get up at 5 a.m. and do what you do. I could never get up at 5 a.m. and do what you do. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I took that question and I spent about 4 to 5 to 6 stories, no more than that, on answering that question. How I was able to do it, what I did differently, how it's made me feel. Okay. So I answered that frequently asked question, and I followed it up with how it's made me feel. So this is what was happening. I wasn't getting my workout done in the morning. And then during the day, I was stressing out because I had so much work to do. I kept putting my workout off and off and off. By the time my kids got home, I would have to press pause 100 times. So I was showing them like what the problem was. Then I showed them what I knew I needed to do. And then I showed them the plan that I put in place and then how it's made me feel. Okay. So one thing that I did learn from Shalane Johnson, she's an Instagram guru. She said, if somebody goes to your Instagram stories and they see that you have literally talked 1,000 times on your Instagram stories, they're not going to watch them. So you basically have to come up with the most Cliff Notes version of what you need to say. And you can't always assume that people are going to be able to watch your stories. Like, for instance, if you're sitting in the bathroom, going to the bathroom, all y'all do it, so don't even play, and you're watching stories, but you're in a public bathroom, you're not going to turn the volume up, like you're just going to watch. So it's important to have like some script, like text or something that kind of like sums up what it is that you're saying on that post. This is coming from Shalane Johnson. Okay. So it doesn't have to be on all of them, but maybe on the first slide, and then like 2 or 3 later, you have some more text, because text kind of gives the person that's reading this, okay, am I going to come back to this because of what has been said on here? And so that's something that I did as well. All right. So get your point across in 3 to 4 stories. And then at the end, always have a call to action. Okay, so there's this thing called the swipe up feature in Instagram that you only are privy to when you have 10,000 plus followers. Okay, so I do not have 10,000 followers. However, when you so if you go to an Instagram story and you just swipe up, it gives you the option to message them. Okay, so what I do is I have them swipe up and send me their email. So I got so many emails by doing that this weekend. As I was talking about the different things that I was wanting, that I was trying, the frequently asked questions, they would send me their emails. So then, you guys, once you have their emails, you have to have a plan, okay? What are you going to send them? There's so much to send. There's so much you want to talk about. So what are you going to send them? So I can show you guys exactly what I sent. But one thing that I want to challenge all of you guys to do, and I know this is scary, but let me tell you something. It's going to save you so much time. Have a video explaining what a challenge group is that is around 3, no longer than 4 minutes. Something that you can give to somebody so that they're not, excuse me, so that they're not, you're not having to completely continue talking about a challenge group over and over again to all these people. So this is what I send them. I'm going to read you my email that I send them, and it's super, super simple. Okay, here it is. So I email them and I say, I need water. In the comment, in the subject, I say, hey, it's your coach, Jess. And so then I said, hey, friend, thanks so much for reaching out about my virtual gym coming up in November. It's absolutely the best way that you could begin your holiday season. Whatever fitness goals you have, let's work towards it. You will be so proud you started now and not in January. Here is a short video explaining how the groups work and what to expect. There are 2 options that you can choose from that we will go over after you watch this video. So take a look and send me over any questions you have. Can't wait. Send me over any questions you have. If you are ready to commit, then fill out this form and I will be in touch ASAP. Can't wait to chat more. So what did I do? I sent them the video. Okay, I sent them the video. If they watch my video, and I'll send it to you if you want it. If you want to see my video, you can see it. Once they watch the video, it kind of tells you how much it is in the video. It tells you the price. If they're ready to commit, then they fill out the application. Okay? So what does that mean? If they filled out the application, they want to sign up for my challenge group. It gives them what they're supposed to do, and in the application, which I can give you guys, I'll show you. It shows you exactly what it is that their next steps are. And in that application, it asks all the questions that I normally would have asked back and forth on, private message on Facebook. So by the time they emailed me that application and I got the application, they were ready. They were done. Like at that point, they're like, sign me up. Because at the end, it asks, when do you want to get started? Like, how soon do you want to get started? And most all of them said as soon as possible. So, so I'm telling you, it's simple and it's easy. It didn't take me a lot of time, and it got me 6 Success Club points in 3 days. So I'm hoping that you're not overthinking this and that you can come up with a system, whatever works for you. This happened to work this month for some reason. But that you can come up with a system where you're not repeating yourself over and over. Making that video was one of the best things I could have ever done. Did it take me a long time to make? Yes, it took me a long time to make because I'm a perfectionist and I would start and stop and start and stop. But when it was done, you guys, I sent it to everybody. And so what I also did was I sped up my voice a little bit, which I think kind of sounds funny. But when you're watching it, instead of it being like 5 minutes, it cut it down to like 3 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever. So even though it sped me up a little bit, it made it shorter so that people would watch it. Because when they see a video is 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, they're like, I ain't got time for this right now. But because mine was like 3.5 minutes, it's fast. And so they all watched it and they were ready to sign up. So, my challenge to you is to know exactly what your steps are, so that when people are wanting more information, you have a clear-cut system of what it is that you want to send them. And I will send all of this. I'll post this in our group if you want to see it, exactly what I said. And so the last thing that I'm going to say, and then I'm going to pass this over to Becca. Some people would message me questions on Instagram. So instead of messaging them back by texting them, I will I did a video to them. Okay. So does that make sense? So instead of me like sending them a message back, and just saying and answering their question that way, because see, these people I don't know. This is all my cold market, you guys. These are not people that I'm familiar with. So whenever I would message them back, I would just do a video. I would say what I wanted to say, and then I would send it to them that way. And that gets like a more personal connection with them. Okay. So that they can actually see my personality. They can see who I am. And then I felt like there was a better connection that way than just through me texting them or typing something out. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions on any of that? Because I can show you how all of that works if anybody has questions.
Well, you said that you would share the video that you have, but will you share the email? Because I have a video, but I love the email.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste that right now. Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous that people won't check their email. Do all your people check their email?
Yeah, they have. So I usually send, hey, I sent you an email after they sent me the email. So that I know I sent it, I don't reply. I go and I send the email, and then once I've replied, then I say, hey, I sent you an email. That to me is telling myself that I sent them an email. Otherwise I get really confused. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, so that way they can go straight to it.
I have a question. You said you did fill application. Is that like a PDF form, or what does your application look like?
Yeah, great question. So I'll post that in here. It's Google Forms. It's free. It's really easy. And you can have up to however many questions you want in there, and they can say whatever it is that you want them to say. It's super easy to create your own self. I like Google Forms because A, it's free, and number two, it's set up with your Gmail. And I can do a whole like team training on how to do a form if that will be helpful. If you want to know how to do it that way, or I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Joy, how do you put a red receipt on?
Usually like, I don't know if it's like this with all emails, but like at the top of my email, you can change it to like low priority, high priority, and then you can go like over like one step further and click on to where once they open your email, you get a thing saying that they had looked at it. So I do that a lot for like work and stuff, and so I thought that if you were emailing that form to people, it'd be good to know if they looked at it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so I posted my email in the comments of our of the Zoom link, so you guys can copy and paste that. And don't send anybody my Google form, because then it would go to my email. So you can either just create your own, or you can use all my questions or whatever. I don't care about any of that. Use whatever it is you want. But either there's another thing called WUFO, WUFOO, and that is free up until 10 questions. So anything over 10 questions, it's like the pro version or whatever. So you have to pay for that. But anything under 10 questions, and that is an amazing program. I've used that one before. Will you post the video? Yeah, it's in the email. I posted all of that. The whole email that I sent. Yep, the video and my application or whatever.
You put that in the Zoom chat box or in the Facebook comments?
In the Facebook comments.
Okay, cool.
Of our team call link for tonight. So any questions on that? Does anybody have any questions at all? Any questions? I actually sent Joy my conversations that I had, because what I did was I offered the coaching opportunity to every single person that I chatted with, and 2 of them signed up as coaches. Okay. So I'm trying to lead more with the business opportunity and then fall back on the challenge group, like I talked to you guys about a couple of weeks ago. Any questions? Or does everybody understand that so far? Yeah. Cool. So, all right, Becca, what you got for us?
Hey, me again. Okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about power hours. I know that most of my team works or is in school full time. So it's kind of hard a lot of times to find like a full hour to put into our business every day. But I also know that most of my team is trying to grow this into something like really sustainable and a real source of income for them and their family or their future family or whatever. So I kind of just want to give you some pointers to move in the right direction as far as a power hour, depending on how much time you have each day. And obviously, like, we make time for what's important to us, and nobody's just going to like have an extra hour laying around. I don't think that any of you do. If you do, I would be shocked. But you can kind of say like, okay, today I have 20 minutes, or like tomorrow I have 30 minutes, or, on Saturday I have an hour, whatever it might be. This will kind of break it down. So I'm going to give you the things that I do in my power hour. And if you want to write them down, it's just like a few bullet points. If you don't already have like an outline or a plan for your power hour, I know that some of us did a power hour together. I don't know when that was, last weekend, I guess. And it felt really good and really successful. So this is kind of pulled from that and just a little bit of extra stuff in there. And this is all stuff that I have previously gotten from Jess the first time I did a power hour with her. So the first thing that I do is add people. So I'm pretty much only using Instagram right now. So I'm adding people on Instagram, following them, whether they're private or not. I'm requesting to follow. And I start off with that by when I go to my profile, and then you go in the top right corner, there's like 3 little lines. You click on those 3 little lines, and then there's an option that says Discover People. So I open that Discover People option, and I pretty much add everyone in there that I think is in my target market. And then after that, if I still have time left in my add people segment, then I will go to like a blogger that I follow, or like Brittany Leggett suggested, like she follows a lot of fashion people. So like a fashion person that she follows that's like not really into fitness, but does the fashion thing. Or lately I've been looking at a lot of like dietitian accounts and stuff that like Tori has sent me a couple. And so I've like gone on there, and then I'll follow some of their followers. So people that are following the person that I also respect, like we both respect the same person, which means that we probably have something in common. So I'll follow some of those people. I also will follow sorority sisters from other schools, because they can see that, like when they go to my profile, they can see that we have something in common just by seeing like, oh, Becca's an 80 Pi, I'm an 80 Pi, whatever. So just like think of something that can connect you to other people. Like maybe it's your hometown, or maybe it's your new town, or maybe, you know, whatever your other interests might be. So that's the first thing, add people. The second thing I do is check in with my challengers. And I used to be really bad about this, and I'm starting to get better about checking in with my challengers. So I have all my challengers in one big Facebook group, my Beachbody with Becca group. So that's like everybody that has ever bought a challenge pack from me is in that group. But I tell them at the beginning of every month, I say, if you want to be held accountable this month, and if you want to be in an accountability group, let me know. Those are the people that I'm putting in groups. If I don't have them in a group, they didn't ask to be in a group that month, then I'm not checking in with them, because I can't check in with 200 people every week or whatever. So if they ask to be in a group that month, they want to be held accountable that month, then I'm checking in with those people. I usually do those by voice message. So since my groups are run on Facebook, I will do those messages through Facebook, and I'm just sending a voice message like, hey, Ashley, just want to check in, see how you're liking Lift 4, like see if things are still going well and how the nutrition's going for you. Like, can't wait to hear back from you. Or like, I love seeing your face in our group every day, or I haven't seen your face in our group in a while, just making sure everything's okay, you know, just kind of like touching base with them, checking in. So that's the second thing. First thing is to add people. Second thing is check in with my challengers. The third thing I do is follow-ups. And there are much better ways to keep this organized. And I know that a lot of you are way more organized than I am, but I keep everybody that told me not right now in the notes section of my phone under that month. So I'll have like an October section, a November section, December section. So if they say like, not right now, but maybe in a couple weeks, if they said that to me in October, then I wrote them down in my November section. So those people I'm going through and following up with, saying like, hey, so-and-so, like, how's the job search going? I know you were looking for something new. Just want to check in and see if you're still thinking about fitness things. I want to make sure I don't forget about you. And kind of put it on like, I'm reaching out because I care about you, not because I'm trying to make a sale, you know? So that's the next thing that I do. After follow-ups, then I'm doing my, like what you would call jabs. So my jabs are usually replying to people's Instagram stories, which is like fun and easy and does not feel like work. So people are posting on their Instagram stories all the time, and I'll go like comment on whatever, like, oh my God, I can't believe you bought a raincoat for your dog, or like whatever. I just want to be in their inbox, and I want them to be comfortable in my inbox, because after a while of doing this, like you start having consistent conversations with people that you haven't talked to in years. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like me and Casey are Instagram friends. Like we talk frequently on Instagram. She lives in San Francisco, but like I know what's going on in her life. She knows what's going on in my life. And like we're going back and forth all the time. So then it doesn't feel like cold and weird when 2 months from now I'm like, hey, I really want you to try this new program with me. Like I think it would be really cool and really good for your lifestyle, because you know them and you know their lifestyle because you've been talking. So jabs. Next thing after jabs is invites. So those are like the right hooks. People that I have been having conversations with, not related to Beachbody, that I'll go invite. And then I usually invite a few people, just like a straight up cold invite. Hey, I know you've been watching my stories or whatever. I appreciate it. Just wondering, like, what are you doing for fitness right now? And that's usually how I start those conversations. Some people will say back like, oh, like I'm doing Orange Theory and I love it. Then usually I say, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you're loving it. Keep up the hard work. Let me know if you ever want to try something new. And then I hear back from them a few months later when they run out of money, because Orange Theory is stupid expensive. So, or whatever it is that they do. People do like burn boot camp and 9 rounds and whatever. So people run out of money for that stuff. And then they're like, oh, I do have that option with Becca. So those are my new invites. The next thing is coach invites. So some of those are challengers in my group. By the end of the month, every challenger in my group is invited to be a coach. Even the people that aren't showing up very frequently, because sometimes what they need is coaching to hold them more accountable. And it totally is an extra layer of accountability. Like all of y'all know that, because we have to show up for our people. Like Caitlin and I were saying the other day, like we would not still be working out with Beachbody if we weren't coaching, because it's just this added layer of accountability. And like, at some point I would have been like, well, if I stop showing up in the group for 3 months, like maybe Jess will forget about me, you know? But once you start coaching, like you don't have that option because all these people are depending on you. So I invite every single challenger to be a coach at some point. And then I'll do some like cold coach invites, usually people that I know already care about fitness. And I'll try to, you know, kind of tell by their profile, like the stage of life that they're in, if supplemental income is something that they might be interested in, which is a lot of people like around my age that have these like entry level positions out of college, whatever, and they're not making the money that they would like to be making. And so they're kind of looking for something to supplement that so they can like do fun stuff on the weekends or whatever. So coach invites. And then the last thing that I do before I end my hour is I will plan my next post. So I'm not posting like permanent posts on Instagram as often as I should be, but I will make sure that at the end of this, I take 5 or 10 minutes or whatever and plan out. I'll do it as a draft on Instagram, and like make my post, make my caption, whatever, so that when it's time to post, like at 8:30 on Sunday night or whatever, all I have to do is like go to my draft, open it, click post, and move on with my night and all the things that I have to get done. So that makes it super simple. You can also write down like some bullet points of things that you want to talk about in your story for the next couple days. I think that's helpful too. Just so that you don't have to like think about stuff on the spot. Because I know for me, if I'm putting it off and then I have to come up with something on the spot, it's either like not very good, or it doesn't get done because I'm like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do it. Like I just won't post on my story today. And then I am like MIA for 2 days. So by planning out what you're doing next, it kind of keeps you going on that front. Okay, so breaking these down, I'm going to go through all of the bullet points again in case you miss any. Add people, check in with your challengers, follow-ups, jabs, new invites, so your right hooks, coach invites, plan a post. So that's 7 things. So thanks, Jess. She put them in the chat section. So I have broken this down so that you can kind of say, like, depending on how much time you have. So if you have the time and are willing to put in 21 minutes a day, then you can do each of these things for 3 minutes each. I know that's like very basic math that you all could have figured out yourself. But okay, so like 21 minutes a day. I think most of us can make 21 minutes a day. You can get up 21 minutes a day earlier. You can go to bed 21 minutes later. You can get in 21 minutes while you're eating dinner, like whatever. So 3 minutes for each of those things. You're not going to be able to get in like 10 new invites probably, but that's okay. That's more than, getting a couple in is more than you would have done if you didn't set aside that time. I also recommend setting timers during this for all these things so that you're staying on task and you're not like, oh, like, look at that person's cute baby. Like, oh, their friend has a cute baby too. That's what I do. And then I get lost and deep into Instagram. To set timers. Okay, so 3 minutes puts you at a 21-minute block. If you do each of these things for 5 minutes, then that puts you at a 35-minute block. And if you're doing each of them for 10 minutes, that's a 70-minute block. So for me, a 70-minute block is going to be like on a Sunday when I don't have a ton of stuff going on. Now, like on a Monday or a Wednesday when my life is crazy, like it's going to be a 21-minute block. And I can just hit all those things super quickly and then move on. So yeah, does anyone have questions about that? Is anyone willing to try one of those this week if you haven't been doing them previously?
I will. I'll be the guinea pig because I haven't done something like this before.
It's going to change things, Caitlin, seriously, because you are so consistent in posting on your stories and your workouts. And I think once you get that like consistent follow through with people, it's really going to change things for you.
Well, what's funny is I've never thought of it like, I always thought like, okay, it's a power hour, so you have to take an hour. But clearly we all don't have that, all the time. So, I mean, I love the 3-minute breakdown. I love the 5-minute breakdown. Like, that is genius to me. And that's easy. 21 minutes, you guys. And you have moved your business a little bit more forward than you would have if you were just like, I didn't do anything today, so I'm just going to go to bed. So I love that. That is doable. It's so doable. 21 minutes. Oh my gosh. Easy.
Yeah, I'm excited because starting in January, I'm going to be in my last semester of grad school and writing my thesis and like doing all the craziness. But I can do 21 minutes a day of a power hour. I can do Shanti Transform 20 and like 40 minutes of my day. That's all I need. That's all I need. And I'll be fit and healthy and ripped, and I'll have a thriving business. So that's Becca's plan. I'll let you know how it goes. Does anybody else have anything to add to the power hour situation, or like questions about how I or we do any of those steps?
I have one question. So there was one part where you were saying, like with the follow-ups of people who are like, not right now, or sorry, I'm trying to think it back, where they said that they were doing like Orange Theory or something like that. When you originally talked to them and was like, okay, I'll check in with you later or whatever, were you telling them how much it was? And then later on, they're like, oh, that's like way less than what I'm paying. That's why I'm broke and all that. Or do they just happen to come to you? Does that make any sense?
So in my initial conversations with them, sometimes I am telling them how much it costs if we get that far in the conversation. Or sometimes we're not. Like sometimes the conversation ends at like, no thanks, like I'm actually doing Orange Theory, but you know, I'll tell you how I'm liking it in a month or two. The best is when people tell me that they're doing the Kayla Itstein's Bikini Body Guide. It's like not as big anymore, but it was like super big. And everybody quits that after a month, like everyone. So when they tell me that they're doing that, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, yeah, I've actually done that before. I'm going to check in with you next month and see how you're liking it. And then the next month I'm like, so how did it go? Like, did you love your results? And they're like, well, I quit after the first week. Or like, well, it's just, I kind of like found it hard to motivate myself or whatever. And then that's your key. That is the red carpet rolled out for you. You just got to seal the deal at that point.
Can I?
Thanks.
Can I add something to that? Something that like really changed things for me was normally, like I'm a super passive person. And so if someone said like, oh, that sounds awesome, but like, I'm not really interested right now, then my response would always be like, okay, sounds good. Like, let me know if you need anything kind of deal. So like super passive, but I started being like, okay, like completely understand. Is it all right? Or I'll follow up with you for my group next month. So then like they know it's coming and I know that it's okay that I'll follow up with them. And it's not like I don't feel annoying because they know it's coming. And I'm not just like, oh, me again. I know you said you were good, but here I am again. Because I said I was going to follow up. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I do that too. I always end the conversation with, I'll follow up with you next month. Is that okay? And they almost always say, yeah, like that's totally fine. Or I would love that. Or like, yes, please do. And sometimes like, I feel like I'm being annoying when I follow up, but I would say 90% of those people end up thanking me for following up. Like they're like, thank you so much for like being consistent with me because this is really what I need. And I'm like, okay, you're welcome. Thank you for responding, you know? So it always comes back around. Like the people that you think you're annoying, like you're actually really helping, whether they know it or not. And they come back around and realize that. Anybody have anything else to add to that? Is there anything that y'all are doing in your power hours that I didn't mention?
Yesterday I made this little video. It didn't like talk pricing or anything, but it was just something that I made to send to one person. And then I went back and watched it and I was like, I'm just going to send this back to everybody. So like I sent it, I mean, it was just like a minute or two and basically just saying, you know, just letting you know, like, I'm still here. I've got a new group that's starting on Monday. I would love to have you in it. You know, instead of packing on 5 or 10 pounds, during the holidays. Let's go ahead and lose that, plus some. So we'll be on the right track to start, the new year kind of thing. And I sent that to I just went back to all the people that have messaged me back and forth since I became a coach. I mean, I went way far back. And I just sent it to them all. And so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I didn't have time to do, everything on the stuff, but I did get a lot of my posts and stuff planned. But I sent that to a bunch of people. I had several people message back. So
That's awesome. That's a really good idea.
I love the video idea. I think everybody should have a video,
Yeah. Well, Tori, a couple of weeks ago when we were talking, she was saying that she had started doing that, when she would reply back to people on Instagram or Facebook, doing it in a video or a voice. And that just kind of resonated with me, and it's really been helpful. So I've been trying to do that instead of just writing a lot, because sometimes I can get carried away when I'm writing, and so if I'm talking, maybe it's not as much information.
Yes.
Yeah, and anyone that hasn't done that before, I was concerned about it because I was like, I don't know how to send a video in Instagram DMs. And so I don't know who, Jess and Tori, I guess, showed me how to upload it to my YouTube channel, which didn't know I had a YouTube channel, but if you have a Gmail account, then you do. And it's so easy. It literally takes 2 minutes. You just take the video on your phone and then go on your YouTube, click upload, and then it uploads there, and it gives you a link that you can send out to people. So you can just send people the link in your Instagram DMs. I don't know if maybe I was the last person on earth to figure that out, but it was very enlightening to me. So worth sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. Really quick, as far as the not being scared to follow up, don't think of it as being annoying. You want to think of it as being a professional. And so Simon Sinek always said, you don't go into it thinking, I really don't want to annoy them. You are being professional. That's what you're doing. If you say you're going to follow up with somebody, you're doing what you said you're going to do. And so in that phrase or whatever it is that you say, hey, just following up with you like I said I would do. Because you're basically reminding them that you remembered to follow up with them. And that speaks volumes. So think about it as at your job. If your job was to make a bunch of contacts and then follow up with them, you would do it. That's exactly what you're doing here. Same exact idea. So you don't want to say you're going to follow up with somebody and then 6 months later they haven't heard from you. So it is being professional. So if you kind of maybe think of it like that, it doesn't sound as, tacky, I guess. Because we all run professional businesses. And so, it's hard to sometimes follow or remember to follow up with people. But just if you say, I'm following up with you like I promised you I would, at that, then you're just showing, okay, I'm a professional at my business and I do what I say I'm going to do. So that was good. Good combos tonight, guys. Hopefully you can walk away with some tips on this month and start implementing those early, not late, like me. Don't be Jessica.
I was also on the same page as you this month.
Really?
Last month I was I'm going to hit SC30. And I started the month so strong and was pushing, and I ended up with 26 or 28 or something. So it's it's just ridiculous that this month it was November 22nd. And I was I'm at 0. I don't know who I think I am, that the people are just going to show up and ask to buy a challenge bag. But
yeah,
I was at 0 and I ended up getting it by the end of the month. But it was it was touch and go for a minute there. So
I got a little nervous. I ain't going to lie. I was oh snap, here we go. Fearless leader at Success on 0.
The end of the year is hard. So we have to start earlier and push harder because It's hard.
Yeah.
I've had so many people say like check in with me for the holidays. And I'm like, okay.
Yep. Okay, so last thing I want to say, and then we're gonna get off here because it's 9:30, and I want to respect you guys' time, or it's 9:30 where I live. So there is always between the days. I'm trying to think of what the dates are. There is always like a cyber sale that goes on. Okay. And so I wanted you guys to think about what we could potentially do during that time, because this is a really good time to increase your volume. Okay, so during these little cyber sales, they don't ever have like challenge packs on sale or anything, or Shakeology, but they do have a ton of apparel. They have a ton of gear. They have a ton of like, workout balls and all kinds of different stuff that they have that's on sale. And so I want you guys to think about, and let's brainstorm what we can do to capitalize on that. Because I'm going to be honest, I've never done the cyber sale well, ever. Never done it well. Let me tell you when it is. The date is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's November 20th through the 26th. So you basically get up to 70% off on gear, apparel, water bottles, yoga mats, everything. So I actually was given like a really cool idea at Summit in one of my leadership times. So I'm going to, it's a really good time to stock up on a bunch of stuff that you want to give away throughout the year, like a really good time. I always buy for my challengers. But I want to think of a really good way that we can promote that, and then maybe we can all join together and do like a big group or something. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it, brainstorm it, because I don't want to be late on that. Okay. So anything else?
Real quick, I know that we were just talking about running professional businesses, so I wanted to thank y'all and apologize for being with me while I cooked dinner, ate dinner, and just did my laundry. And if any of y'all got whiplash from moving my phone around, I'm really sorry.
I'm glad you're here.
Girls got things to do.
It's cool. Megan was folding some laundry back there too.
Amazing. Love you all. Happy November.
Y'all should have seen me when I just had a baby and I was trying to nurse and then get a baby down. Oh, sorry, there's a boy on here. And I'd have the computer like up like this so that nobody could see me. Yeah. That's a top team right there, you guys.
I also think that before we get off the phone, we should all take a minute to appreciate Jessica's biceps, because your arms, like this whole call, I've just been like, her arms. Oh my
gosh. You guys, what's funny is I'm really not that strong. Looks are deceiving. I swear. I'm not that strong.
That's not true. And I see you doing your leg workouts with like 45-pound dumbbells, which I can't even pick up because my forearms can't hold them. So
hey, well, if you haven't done Lift 4, it'll make you look like you're really strong. So you need to do that program for sure. You're funny. Okay. Anything else, you guys? I miss you. All right. Well, for my team, same time, same place next week. And I can't remember what the topic is next week, but I will post that, and I will see you guys all soon. Let me know if you have any questions on anything that we talked about tonight, and I'll post the recording in the morning.